Good morning, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. So, today I'm going to tell you 10 things that you should definitely try to avoid doing when you're preparing for UPSC exam or for any other exam. These are the 10 things you should definitely not do, and you should find alternatives for them, which I'm going to recommend towards the end of the video. The first thing is going to be that you should not take the optional that is recommended by the coaching institute. Normally, I've seen a lot of students, they join a certain coaching institute and they take the optional that is recommended by that coaching institute even if they don't have any background or any liking or any understanding of that particular subject. For example, a student came to me and that student had taken history as an optional, but that student had a very good background in economics. So I asked them why did they take history, and they just said that the coaching institute had recommended them to take history and they had also provided them the classes. So I think coaching institutes normally have a conflict of interest. They only recommend particular option in which they offer classes. So they are not going to recommend you what is the best for you generally. So my recommendation to you is choose an optional based on a proper analysis of the subject that you like, of the subject that you might have studied, looking at the old UPSC papers and looking at the UPSC syllabus for that optional. Try to also look at the past performance of those optionals, whether the top 100 200 people who have topped the UPSC exam have taken their optional. That is an important way to understand what the performance of our optional is, and that way you should decide. I will make a separate class on that as well, but do not take it solely on the basis of what the coaching institute is recommending you. That is a very poor way to decide what optional you should be taking. The second thing that I would recommend is, I'm reading from a notes that I've written, is that a lot of students actually expect to crack the exam within the first attempt itself. And I think that is somewhat of a unrealistic expectation. Even though some really good students have passed this exam or cracked this exam with top ranks within the first attempt itself. Tina Dabi did her first attempt and top rank, first rank. So definitely hats off to them. And I think there is something special about that kind of a person, and they must have worked very hard or had many years beforehand to prepare. By first attempt, it doesn't mean that you have only spent 1 year studying for the exam. It could be that you have actually spent the last 2 3 years preparing for the exam in your college years. You already had some guidance, you already had some motivation because your family members had civil servants as members. So I think overall, what you need to do is just try to take it in context that this exam is so wide, this exam is so, the breadth of the exam is so vast, the kind of subjects that this exam covers is so GS1 has history, geography, sociology, while GS4 has ethics. So the mere breadth of this exam is so wide and vast that I don't think that it is fair to just expect anyone to crack this kind of a massive syllabus in 1 year. So I think cracking in first attempt should be your attempt, should be your aim, should be something that you should be confident about, but don't be unrealistically overconfident. Try to understand the needs of the exam, read the syllabus, understand what are the various aspects, what are the past year's question papers, what are the some trends in the kind of questions UPSC is asking, and then only can you maybe pass it in the first attempt, but the probability of that is low. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it in second attempt. The second attempt passing rate is very high, the third attempt is even higher. So I would say if you can do it in first, second or third attempt, it is very good. If it takes more than that also, it is good. But I think you should realistically think that yes, I will give my best in the first attempt. I will learn from my mistakes if I don't pass. If I do pass, that's great. But do not be overconfident and do not give up after the first attempt. That is the important point that I want you to learn from this particular thing. The third one is that a lot of students actually just study from the sources that have been talked by the toppers or have been given by the coaching institutes that they are enrolled in. But I don't think just mere studying those sources is enough. You have to also supplement or complement your study with online search. You have to become a master of searching and finding the right articles to study. So basically, the use of Google, the use of finding the right sources is very important. So I will give you a personal example. I found this website prs.org during my preparation for GS2. and no one had recommended this particular website. I just found it when I was doing a lot of search online for topics I was studying for GS2, and I found it an incredible source for some of the topics that needed to be covered, but were not covered properly by coaching institutes or through any other traditional materials. So I would say that try to learn the art of searching properly and finding the good sources for studying. Searching and finding bad sources that have nothing to do, they're just marketing their services or their articles or their coaching classes or whatever. That is a lot of websites, and there's a lot of search results like that, but try to find the right search results. I will give another example for this. If you search for a certain keyword for a current affair, you might find some coaching institutes coming at the top with content about those particular topics, and then some newspaper articles about those particular topics. See, don't rely completely on what is given in the coaching institute website article, because it might not cover the basics, foundations that you need to understand the topic from. Sometimes it might, sometimes it might not. So that's why you have to be a little bit of a self doer when it comes to searching. The next one is going to be about basically daily answer writing or daily test series for previous year questions or for multiple choice questions for prelims and for mains for answer writing. I don't think daily answer writing or daily previous year questions or multiple choice questions are required for practice. You can do that when you are closer to the exam, but at least 2 months in advance of the exam, you should not be doing it. For if there are 60 days left for the exam, then you can start it. But before that, it doesn't make any sense. Before that, you should be focusing on just learning the content, understanding the foundational topics, making some short notes, and covering the entire syllabus properly. The next one is going to be about the editorial videos and a lot of videos about current affairs that are taught online. I'm not a huge supporter of learning just purely from videos. I'm not a huge supporter of watching editorials and watching current affair videos to learn about them. I think that's a very poor way to learn anything. I think the only way you can learn is by reading it properly, by going to the foundational articles or foundational content about that particular topic and reading it properly, and then maybe supplementing it with some of the videos. So for example, I have found content of Amit Sen. Amit Sen, there's a YouTube channel, and Shubhra Ranjan ma'am, she's a political science teacher for UPSC. I found their content to be rather good. But that doesn't mean that you should rely on their online videos. First, you should read it. If you don't understand that topic, go to the channel. Then you can read it. You can complement your studies from there by further understanding that topic. If you're purely relying on them, I don't think your learning will be entirely holistic and integrated the way UPSC requires it to be. So I would say reading को main focus बनाओ. Reading should be one of your main focuses, because you have to also write in UPSC. If it was only multiple choice, then I would not be that opposed to videos. But UPSC is not a multiple choice paper only. It also requires you to write, and to write well, you need to read well. The next one is going to be use of social media. I've said this a billion times. Try to cut off the use for social media as much as possible. Instagram, even WhatsApp, try to minimize it. Just use it for study purposes. Telegram groups. There are so many Telegram groups. Why do you need them for? I used to use Telegram groups just to download a few papers and practice them in my free time. That's it. I never used Telegram to study or to, maybe I used it to download some videos of ethics that I needed to study from. But never did I use Telegram. Never did I use these जितने ज़्यादा sources रखोगे, जितने ज़्यादा ये सब्सक्राइब करोगे चैनल्स वगैरह, उतना ही आप परेशानी में जाओगे. तीन चार को सॉर्ट आउट करो एंड जस्ट फोकस ऑन देम ओनली. The next one is going to be trusting, whether you should trust these model answers given by coaching institutes or provided on online websites. I don't think so. I think a lot of them are very unrealistic. In fact, they are occasionally breaching the word limit. Word limit is of 150 words or 250 words. These answers are in thousand words. They are just content that is dumped in one place so that you can learn from that content. But that's certainly not model answers. Agar 150 words answer is required by UPSC, maximum it can be 200 words, and it can never be the way these coaching institutes are giving you answers. Look at my answers. They're simple, they're effective, they're to the point, they're as what a UPSC aspirant will be able to realistically write in the exam. If you think these coaching institutes are giving you realistic answers, that is that is misguiding you, and please don't go and trusting them. So use your own mind when analyzing them. I think coaching institute answers are just too extensive. They just dump all the information, and that you should just think about that. Take it as a piece of information that has been given to you. Learn from it, but don't treat it as a model answer that you need to write in UPSC. You won't be able to write those kind of answers. It's not possible physically, mentally, intellectually. Next one, the eighth one is going to be not analyzing old papers of UPSC, whether prelims paper or mains paper. Lot of students don't analyze previous year question papers, and I think that is at their loss. Try to analyze them as early as possible is also okay. If you have studied for 2 months, start analyzing them. Don't wait till the last moment. The next one is going to be about not believing in yourself. I feel a lot of students lose hope very quickly and don't believe in their own abilities. Rather, it doesn't matter which college you're from, it doesn't matter what background you are from. UPSC is a level playing field. It is one of those exams which gives fair chance to everyone. I never thought I would pass, even though I come from a normal middle class family. I never thought, I mean, I thought that I would pass, sorry, but I never thought that, when the time, the day when your name appears in the merit list, then you can trust the UPSC system because you have given your best, you have analyzed, you have worked on your mistakes, and then you have passed the exam. So I think even when there is a little bit of doubt in your mind that you might not pass, but if you do the right work, you pass. So that means that the system works and the UPSC is very fair, and at the end of the day, if you do well, you will pass this exam. So believe in yourself. Don't let your confidence turn into overconfidence, but definitely keep that confidence going. And finally is, don't hoard books. I have seen a lot of aspirants, they just take thousands of hundreds of books from old Rajendra Nagar and keep them in their room, because they just find the topic of that book or the magazine very interesting related to UPSC. But under uske inside the magazine there is nothing of substance, or there's a lot of information you don't need to study. Just stick to the classical sources and they will be enough for your exam purposes. Okay, I will post these. I have written these things on my diary. I will post these on the community channel. You can refer to them later also, and hopefully these tips will help you. Thanks. Take care. I have